You know what's mind blowing? The first organized missionary journey in Christian history started with a group of leaders so diverse. One of them actually grew up in the palace with the same king who would later execute John the Baptist.
That's such a fascinating detail about Manaen and Herod. Two men raised together, but ending up on completely opposite sides of history.
And what makes this story even more compelling is how this whole mission began, not with strategic planning or market research, but with prayer and fasting. The text specifically mentions they were ministering to the Lord when they received their direction.
So, what exactly prompted them to take such a dramatic step at this particular moment?
Well, archaeological evidence suggests there was growing religious tension in Antioch at the time. The church there had become this incredible mixture of Jewish and Gentile believers, which was pretty revolutionary for that period.
The way they launched this mission is pretty remarkable, too, sending their most gifted leaders, Barnabas and Saul, rather than keeping them safe at home.
And their first major encounter really sets the tone for everything that follows. They meet this Roman proconsul, Sergius Paulus, who's genuinely interested in learning about Jesus. Archaeological discoveries have actually found inscriptions confirming that he and his entire family became Christians.
That must have sent shockwaves through the Roman establishment, having a high ranking official publicly embrace this new faith.
Speaking of dramatic moments, their journey to Pisidian Antioch was no small feat. We're talking about a 135-mile trek inland through rough terrain, and historical records suggest they were dealing with some serious challenges, including possible illness.
Hmm, and yet they managed to establish a thriving church there in just about a week's time. That's pretty incredible efficiency.
You know what's really fascinating? When Paul gives his sermon in the synagogue, he uses this brilliant rhetorical technique that was common in Greek philosophy, starting with shared history and building to a surprising conclusion. It's like he's creating this intellectual bridge between Jewish tradition and the message about Jesus.
The response to that sermon really shows how revolutionary their message was, especially for the Gentiles, who suddenly heard they could be included in God's plan without first becoming Jewish.
Right, and here's where it gets really interesting. When almost the entire city shows up to hear more, the Jewish leaders become envious. Historical records from that period show this was actually a common pattern in other cities too, where successful religious movements often faced backlash from established authorities.
That's when we see this pivotal moment, their declaration that they're turning to the Gentiles. It's essentially the beginning of Christianity as a global faith.
And what's remarkable is how they handled opposition. Instead of getting discouraged or aggressive, they simply moved on to new territories. Studies of religious movements show this pattern of persecution actually helps spread new ideas more quickly across the Roman Empire.
The text mentions they left filled with joy despite being kicked out. That kind of resilience in the face of opposition is pretty remarkable.
You know, looking at the broader historical context, this journey marks the beginning of a massive social transformation. Within just a few generations, this small movement would spread across the entire Roman Empire, challenging both religious and social norms.
The strategic nature of their work is fascinating too, deliberately choosing major cities, using established networks, adapting their message for different audiences while maintaining its core truth.
And here's something really relevant for today: this tension between innovation and tradition, between reaching new people and dealing with those who resist change. It's a dynamic that still plays out in virtually every major social movement.
Well, looking at the actual impact, it's pretty incredible how this one journey led to the establishment of several churches that would last for centuries.
And that's really the lasting legacy of this story: how a small group of committed people, willing to face opposition and adapt their methods while staying true to their message, managed to initiate a movement that would eventually transform the entire Roman world. It's a powerful reminder of how significant change often starts with just a few dedicated individuals willing to step out and do something different.